first things first, we have a little video that was recently created for some, that just sort of sets the stage that I want to share with you all. So.
We have a really fabulous agricultural sciences program here. We specialize mostly in animal sciences as well as agriculture, business management, equine science, and general agriculture. Most of our general ag students go on to be high school ag teachers throughout the state of Oregon. And right now we currently have a small, relatively dated equine center that houses our equine science and horse management programs. And we've really outgrown that center in the last decade.
In 2018, we started the process of purchasing 53 acres on Looney Lane, which is about a mile from campus. So it's a great location for an ag center.
We were really pleased that our legislative delegation were leaders in helping us to get this building funded and appropriated by the legislature, and also that the citizens of Linn and Benton counties voted to approve a GO bond for the buildings.
The average age of a farmer in Oregon is 63 years old right now. So as a state, we really need to make the investment in our youth and encourage our young people to come into agriculture and to work in agriculture. It's not only a fulfilling career, it can be a lucrative career, and we really feel that this livestock center will help us get there.
We're now in the process of designing the ag center. And this is where the fun begins, because now we get to think about what's going to be in that building.
What we'll be able to do is put up a multi-species livestock center, which for us will be a big expansion and allow us to have a vet tech program with our colleagues over at Oregon State University, really trying to add to the trained vet tech workforce. It's been a real challenge during the pandemic, and coming out of the pandemic that a lot of veterinarians need more help in their offices, large and small animal, and so we're really pleased to be part of the solution on that.
I think the thing I'm looking forward to the most is the engagement that this is going to allow us to have with the community. I'm really looking forward to engaging with youth groups. I'm really looking forward to, diving deeper with FFA and 4-H and our area high schools and high schools from outside of our area. I hope that people from all over the state come and use our facility for what it's meant for, which is agricultural education.
We are not only just the community's college, but we pride ourselves in offering and bragging about actually education for all. And we have tried to make sure that we're expanding more to serve students from rural families, and I think that this will be a really visible footprint that will make that dream come true for them. And two, I think the high wage jobs that will be offered, I'm very, very concerned about making sure with the rising cost of housing that our students and graduates are able to stay in the Valley after they finish their program, and so the wages that they'll get will help with that, and then that will help with their children and families as well. So we see it as also a piece of economic development for the Valley.
One of the things I really love about Linn-Benton is everybody has the same goal, and that is to help our students achieve whatever their educational goal is and succeed. And so when you're working together like that, it's a great team.
We have so many students that come here who tell me, I didn't really want to go to college. I never thought I'd go to college, but then I saw your program. And that changed my mind, and I thought I'd give it a try. And when they come to LBCC, maybe to study equine science or maybe to study animal science, we do obviously teach them those skills, but they're also required to take other skills. So they have to work on their math, they have to work on their writing, their communication, they have to take some back core classes, they might have to take classes in art or religion or sociology or anthropology, things that will change the way they view the world. And in my opinion, that's what education is for.
I am just so grateful to our legislators who helped us with getting this appropriation. We're tremendously grateful to have that government funding, and also that the voters chose to support the bond project. It's not just the Ag Center, but also childcare, also some important improvements we needed both in Benton County and our main campus. But really the centerpiece of our bond project was the Ag Center. And I can't wait to invite everybody to the groundbreaking and to the ribbon cutting when the facility is up and running. And we're so excited about the prospects that it brings, not just for LBCC, but again, really for all of the Mid-Valley.
So real quick, we have a brief agenda today that we want to walk through with you guys. And a lot of it's going to involve you getting the opportunity to share with us what it is you think would be awesome to include in this agricultural setup. So I'm going to ask President Avery to come on up and give us a quick welcome, and then we're going to move through this as quick as we can so that we can get to you all.
Okay. And I don't know if you remembered to introduce yourself. This is Dr. Christina Holton, Dean of many, many things, including our ag programs. So it is painful to watch myself on video, and now I have to see a picture behind me. So I'm just going to look out at you all, and I'll be really, really brief, because the goal is to get you talking about what you think the community needs for the project and your ideas and suggestions, because it's so early that we really do have time to build that into the project. So I will say just a couple of quick things that I don't think were covered in the video, and some other intros as well. We have at least 3 elected officials with us today, and I want to make sure to ask them to either stand or wave. We have Dick Running, member of our board of directors, Jeff Davis from our board of directors, and Dr. John Sarna from our board of directors. Any other electeds in the room? I will say I mentioned the legislature in the video, and be going to the legislature to thank particularly Representative Bosshart Davis, Representative Jamie Kate, and Speaker Rayfield for their support of the project and providing $8 million for LBCC to get this piece going. The match was a local match. And so to all of you who are voters and live in Linn and Benton County, regardless of how you voted, thank you for your contribution in form of, and this is a part of a property tax, but we think it's a really good investment. It brings the local match, then the community owns the project. And we think that that's the best thing about working here at LBCC. In contrast to the universities, the communities own our buildings, and they'll own this one as well. So we do have 55 acres just down the road, and we want to get your opinions on what to put there. I'm really excited about the possibilities of vet tech, because you heard me mention in the video education for all, and what LBCC does for in terms of education for all is we're trying to help make sure that local folks can earn better wages at good jobs in our community and raise their families here. And everybody benefits, both the community and that individual family. And we know there are many employers clamoring for vet techs in both large and small animal around the valley. So we think that that's going to be an important contribution to the workforce. So without further ado, I just want to, this is a really great turnout. There are cookies at both ways. If you didn't get one on the way in, we want you to take one on the way out. And please really give us your honest feedback today. There is lots of time for us to figure out what to do and the best approach to do with this center. And it's the community's building. So please give us your best suggestions about how to build it. And thank you for being here.
I wasn't intentionally trying not to introduce myself. I was just wanting to come after you. So as President Avery said, I'm Christina Holton. I'm the Dean of Science, Engineering, and Mathematics here at Linn-Benton Community College. And that also affords me the opportunity to work with our agriculture department. And so I do want to take just a quick second and introduce our ag faculty who are with us here today. So we have Jenny Struban, equestrian faculty. Clay Weber in the back, animal science, and then Sierra, oh, there's Sierra Myers. Also animal science, and then Rick Klimpy, I'm not going to forget you. He's recently retired, but a longtime ag faculty here at Linn-Benton Community College as well. And it is really a privilege of mine to get to work with this team. And I always say, they hear me say this a lot, is that my job is to help solve problems and remove barriers and find resources so that they can do the great work with our students. So that's what we're here to talk about today. So I want to just take a moment and tell you how we got here. There's a little bit of it in the video, but I think it's important to just kind of touch on some highlights. And I am standing here because we are Zooming in case I think there might be a few people who are going to join us remotely. So the teacher in me wants to wander, but I'm going to try and stay quiet. Back in 2018, we were actually approached by Dr. Chris Wycliffe with Cascadia Equine Services. Is there something behind that? Okay, Cascadia Equine. And he had purchased this piece of property on Looney Lane, in which he intentionally wanted to see if the college would be interested in being a next door neighbor by selling us a piece of this property. And as kind of big as this idea was, it became really exciting by June of 2019 when the college was actually able to move forward and close on this property and purchase the 53.5 acres out there. Our next step was to figure out, okay, now we have the space, now we want to actually build something. And so in the spring of 2020, we submitted a capital projects funds application to the state, and that was approved in 2021. So there came the first 8 million, and then we had to figure out what our process was to match that. As President Avery said, we needed to match that with local funds. So we did some bond research for a GO or general obligation bond, and the Board of Education approved that to go forward on the ballot in the spring of 2022, and that was passed by our local voters. So all together, that gives us $16 million to work with in order to build this facility. I want to just remind everyone about what programs we currently have here at Linn-Benton Community College. So we're already doing amazing work. And as Jenny said in the video, our facilities are a little bit dated. They're not bad. They just they're a little bit dated. And so the ability to have a new state-of-the-art facility will be really a game changer. On the multi-species livestock side of things, we don't have any facilities. So the college currently partners with outside organizations, whether it's local community members, industry partners, or even Oregon State universities. And we're always kind of at their expense to be able to use their facilities. They're gracious in partnering with us, but we really believe that our game could be elevated if we had our own space and our own animals and what have you. So these programs up here are what we currently have. And as we mentioned in the video, we're also thinking about how can we grow into the future. So veterinary technician is really in high demand, as was mentioned. And that's something that we're already having some preliminary conversations with folks at Oregon State about. It's very exciting. We actually have been talking to them for a couple of years now and about what that might look like, how we can partner with them, and what the process would be with that moving forward. We also understand that with 53.5 acres, there may be space possibly for a crop and soil science program. And again, what we're thinking about is how do we meet the needs of our community as we move forward into the future. Another important aspect of this is that we really want to think about how are we targeting the community connection, right? So this facility is going to be set so that we can certainly expand and do great work on the instruction side of the house and work with our students and help those students earn degrees and go out and get those amazing jobs within industry. But we also want the facility to be open and available for meeting the needs of the community. So we listed kind of just our initial thoughts here about ways in which we can connect, and this space can be of an asset and a resource to the community. But we also understand that we haven't necessarily thought of everything. So really what we want and why we're bringing everyone together today is to say, what else? What are those other things that we haven't yet thought of and that we should include and consider in this process? So I want to give you some just kind of high level general thoughts, updates as it relates to this project. So some of you may have seen some of these images before. These were part of our bond campaign. We had a local firm put together just some schematic conceptual renderings of what we think this space might look like. And it's very exciting to see that, because it makes it feel a bit more real, and to see, you know, Linn-Benton Community College on the side of some brand new, really beautiful building is really exciting for us. We also, and I understand that from a distance, this is a little bit small, so if anyone wants to see it up close and more, that's great. We also have kind of talked just in large generalities about what are the pieces and parts, what are the components that we believe would be included in terms of structural components. So we're hoping for an arena. We definitely want some classroom space, some wet lab space, obviously a horse barn, barns space available for other species of livestock. Some maybe an outdoor arena type space. And so again, this is our high level ideas from the beginning, but what we're hoping to hear from you all today is what are other things that we've not yet considered. The college moved forward with an architecture and design firm process, and in the fall we confirmed that we're working with Pivot Architecture from Eugene, and they're going to be doing the design and the architecture and design process for us. And then I wanted to make note that they are partnering, they're consulting with GH2 Architects. They're actually from Tulsa, Oklahoma, but they have agricultural expertise. And so they've actually done a lot of design and architecture renderings for agricultural based projects in higher education. So we're excited to be working with both of these firms, Pivot first and foremost, and then they're partnering with GH2. And then the college just went out for a CMGC services, and that's construction management, general contractor services. And this is going forward to our board actually tonight here in a couple hours for pending approval. So that's why it says pending board approval. But if that goes forward as we hope it will, girding builders from right here in Corvallis will be the CMGC services that will be this project. And so what we are really wanting to do now is we're really hoping that within your tables, we kind of try to set you up in small groups. And my goal is that there's someone from the college that will be in each group, at least one, perhaps more, that can help facilitate a conversation, listen to your ideas, take some notes about what is it that we haven't thought about yet as it relates to this planning and design process that we are embarking upon. What additional uses do you think that you could help us envision with this facility, right? So how might it be even a broader use to the community than what we've thought of? We're hoping you can help share some thoughts on what are the jobs of tomorrow that we need to consider when we're designing and building this facility as it relates to the world of agriculture. And then, of course, any other questions that you have for us, because our hope is that this is not just we see you today and then we don't see you again. We really hope that we'll have the opportunity to interact and engage with folks as we continue forward in this process. So if you're not at a table, it looks like most people are at a table, and I might have you guys join another table. If you're not at a table with at least a couple other people and someone from the college that can help take notes, this is really going to be our time to have these conversations. And Sierra, maybe I can get your team to kind of spread out across tables too. So we have some students here from our livestock judging team that are here again. Our goal is to listen and hear from you, and we're open to all of these exciting ideas. So just before we talk about final steps, but I just take a minute to, if each table had kind of one interesting thing that came up, that you'd like to share, just kind of so the group can hear it. Of course, if hopefully not everyone's got the same thing, but I'm just curious as to kind of, I think in my moving around and hearing from different groups, there's a lot, I mean, the vast array of ideas is absolutely amazing. And that's exactly what we want. So I'm just curious, Jenny, I'm gonna start with you in the back. Is there something, what's one thing from what you guys talked about that's interesting, new, exciting?
Well, this is something we haven't talked about yet.
Sure.
So first of all, this group was very productive and had a lot of really great ideas. I don't know why I'm picking this one. I think it's because it's something we haven't talked about yet, but it was the idea of developing a functional website to go along with the facility where people could book the arena, view events, have access to boarding and training and breeding information, all that kind of good stuff.
Absolutely. So when we think about engaging with the community, that's going to be really important, because it can't just be, one person. We need some sort of meaningful way to connect broadly so that people understand what we do. Yeah, absolutely. How about up here?
I guess I got nominated.
Nominatold.
Oh, right, nominated, yes. Basically, the consensus was you're not thinking big enough. And yeah. There might be some more novel ways as far as thinking about how you're laying your buildings out and what types of buildings you're doing to be able to increase square footage off of the initial grant that then lets you springboard later to more finished.
Right,
type
so thinking
situations.
about how we can, whatever we start with
Especially for
allows
the
us
animal housing
to grow. Okay,
areas, to be able to get roof lines up without necessarily walls and that sort of stuff.
Scalability.
Scalability, yes, and your classrooms are less than half of what I think you need.
okay, they have told us that's probably
Build with what
some
in
of the
mind
most
what you want
expensive.
15 years down the road,
Yeah.
not what you want when the
It's
doors
too
open.
small.
Yeah.
So,
Excellent, yeah, how about over here?
We really focused a lot on like jobs that we can expand to target. And one thing that we feel like our area is really lacking is a meat science program and a meat lab. And then also dabbling more in the IT side of ag because technology is becoming such a large part of how we do things on the farm and how we do things in ag. GPS, drones, all of those good things, and starting to turn students towards that direction as well.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, how about over here?
We talked about like you guys mentioned on a little bit, having the flexibility within the classroom. So it's not only used towards one thing, you can have multiple different kind of classes in there. And with that, having more sustainability practices within the building to teach students on. So like having things like solar panels or water saving things that we can teach students going into the field, different sustainability practices that they can use.
Excellent, yeah. Okay, up here.
We touched on all of that. Some of our big takeaways were also including CWE and those programs. Technology was really big, looking at the Knife River facility and the arena and how we can have our teachers in the arena and our students in the classroom, not only here locally, but elsewhere, satellite. So using some of those ideas. We also learned that that particular property has some drainage issues. So the charcoal gravel leach field and recapturing, reusing some of those resources. Also looking at reproductive genetic testing, imaging, and agreed not just for now, but way into the future to be thinking about that now. Did I miss anything that was? All right.
Excellent. Okay, and over here.
Well, just like many of you, we spoke of space, and I think what's important is to still have some sort of space. So it sounds like we have to double everything, but so, livestock judging has a space where they can have that's kind of their centered place and area. At the end, we discussed also just having a community room, which is something I know is really valuable in our community, is just having a spot to meet. And that naturally, of course, brings people here. And we also talked about, potentially we brought up the meat processing, and that would be something that would be, kind of making it kind of a hub where people could, maybe even have auctions on weekends, that sort of thing. Because I understand the closest location is Woodburn. So it sounds like there's a lot of really good ideas, and they're definitely overlapping. Yeah, I think, did I forget anything? Yeah, so I think just it seems like we definitely, the whole classroom and space and making sure that we're thinking ahead is going to keep it.
I just wanted to add one more, having housing of some sort, so RV hookups on site for breeding and things like that. When we have shows, that there are facilities that will allow RV hookups.
Awesome. So as you guys can see that in even less than an hour, we know that we generated a mass amount of ideas from this group. And this is probably not everything, right? So you're gonna leave here today, you're gonna keep thinking about things, you're like, oh, I should have told them this. Please know that we are here, we are available, and we still wanna hear from you. So please don't feel like you can't add in those extra things as they come to you in the middle of the night. That's how they come to me anyways. I just want to share with you kind of, this is what our plans are from this point, is that we're going to gather all these notes and we're going to summarize this together in one coherent fashion of some sort. And we haven't talked necessarily how we'll do that, but we'll summarize all of the information and we want to share that back out with this group. So we want to make sure that the things that you've shared with us that you really feel is strongly important, that is captured in one way or another. Or if we haven't captured it correctly, that you will take that opportunity to tell us. And then as we also continue to move forward, there's going to be options for how you can stay connected to LBCC in this process. So we are excited to be kind of on the uptick of this planning and designing phase. We're going to get moving with that. It feels like it's going to speed up here as we move forward. But we want to have options for you to stay connected with us, but also options for others who maybe aren't here in this room. As you're thinking about, hey, I know this person and they are involved in these ways within agriculture, that they would be a great person for you to talk to too. We hope that you will help share that information with us, their contact information, so that we can reach out and stay connected with them as well. Because again, this project is, as President Avery said, is for the community overall. And then lastly, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to come and share your thoughts and your insights with us. It's tremendously valuable as we think about now into the future. And we may have, our goal is that we'll have continued opportunities for you to come hear what's happening and share more with us. Here's my contact information. If you want to reach out to me at any point in time directly, you're welcome to do that. And we also had said on the bottom of that invite originally is that there's a group of us, I don't know exactly how many, but we're going to drive over to the property. So if you want to lay eyes on the space as it currently is, it's grass, but it's beautiful grass. It's fenced, beautiful grass. But we didn't actually talk about exactly where the location is. So if you leave here and you drive like you're going to go to Corvallis, the back way around Allen Lane and then onto Looney Lane as you're going to Highway 34, just before you get to Highway 34 is right there at the corner is Dr. Whitcliffe's property, and then ours is the one just north of that and connected. We share that east-west fence line. So
Christina,
Yeah.
there's some little barricade deals. I'll pull those. People can park down the gravel drive
Okay.
that's on the east side of the property there.
any questions for me before we let you all free for the afternoon? Again, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your time and we look forward to speaking with you again in the future.